Hello and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 3 here on HeflaTV 2. This is going to be Game 2 of the Best of 2 series, between Duza Gaming and your family. Game 1, your family and Duza Gaming were incredibly close for the first portions of the game, but later on, the teamfight execution for your family was really just on point. A couple of the Chronospheres were a little bit questionable, but in the end, they were able to get the combos off correctly. The Earthshaker was able to do absolutely nothing, as every teamfight pretty much, the Clockwork was just zoning in on that Earthshaker, was able to cogs him and take him out before the fight began. Either way, that's enough about Game 1. I'm going to be one of your casters here for Game 2, Grandis V, and I will be joined yet again by Banshee.
Hello again, as we are seeing that Faceless Void is going to get picked up by your family, but this time they don't get the combo, and I do think the Scarlet Mage did do a lot of work for your family in that last game, and the Earthshaker was pretty good for Duza Gaming as well, so hopefully they can make it work and bring us back to maybe a 1-1 tie series.
Yeah, for sure. Your family still have a lot of heroes to pick from. They pretty much have the cream of the crop as far as the Faceless Void combos are concerned, with the exception of that Skarath Mage. They still have the Death Prophet and the Shadow Shaman in the pool, but instead they go ahead and pick up the Viper.
Yeah, because, let's face it, they picked up the Viper last time. The Viper himself did a whole bunch of work, and, after his shaky early game start, he really started coming into his own in terms of those team fights, and if it worked last game, it isn't broken, don't fix it.
For sure. The next ban coming out from Duza Gaming is going to be that Wraith King. Duza do have first pick coming out from the second ban stage. So let's see what your family are going to deny from them after the Tinker ban. It will be a Mirana taken out.
Yep, as in a Mirana, very nice choice right there. Always a good. It was the original Earthshaker plus Mirana combo. And, just a very solid pick. Kind of fallen off a little bit in the more recent days, but still fits in every role, still does well in all the roles. We do see a Death Prophet getting picked up this game, and I do like that pick a lot, especially against a Faceless Void.
Yeah, for sure. If you're able to get the ultimate off before the Chronosphere comes out from the Void, those spirits can do a whole bunch of damage to the Void, and it's very hard for him to focus down the Death Prophet inside the Chronosphere because of that. But if you're able to catch her out before the Exorcism, she's a fairly easy target to focus down. We'll just have to see how that's going to work out for Duza Gaming, but at the end of the day, if they're able to win a team fight, also with the Death Prophet, especially once she takes her level 11, those towers are going to fall.
Yeah, but we are waiting for the third pick coming out from your family, and it is going to be a little bit interesting how they try and counter that Death Prophet. I think they could just go straight up, hard counter and pick up something like an OD mid to go up against her, but OD hasn't really been in touch with the meta recently. He's still a very good hero, but requires too much farm with the very high pushing capability a lot of these teams nowadays have.
Yeah, especially with the Viper already picked up. I think your family are not going to go ahead and pick up the OD. I'd like to see a Shadow Shaman pick for them. Able to put a lot of damage inside the Chronosphere. Also, an Invoker could be pretty solid. Just being able to set up those Sunstrikes with the Chronosphere as well as the Deafening Blast Meteor combo.
Yeah, you've got a lot of potential with that Faceless Void just because of how many things combo with basically a 5-second stun. Practically every hero.
Pretty much. Some more than others, as a lot of heroes can't put the damage into the Chronosphere while they are disabled themselves, but pretty much anything with a large amount of range nuking damage can combo well. And speaking of range nuking damage, we have the Lich. If you're able to catch out a beautiful Chronosphere away from the creeps, you can get a very scary Lich ultimate, although I don't really feel that Lich is as strong as the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah, I do prefer the Shadow Shaman support, but, they could still pick him up as long as Duza Gaming don't take it themselves, and actually that would be a scary pick right now for Duza Gaming, just getting that Shadow Shaman, getting those 2 level 6 pushing ultimates, and, just taking towers before your family can react.
Yeah, if they did go for that, we might be seeing some shenanigans with either a mid-Earthshaker, or more than likely a mid-Skarath Mage coming out from them, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. It would shore up their pushing potential a lot. Your other heroes that you'd like to see in your pushing lineup are already banned out. You have the Pugna and Lycanthrope taken out by themselves, so they won't have those available to them, so maybe they're contemplating the Shadow Shaman here.
Yep, as in the other chance they can possibly pick up would be the Tidehunter, which is also really good in team fight situations, because often you find with a lot of issues with non-Tidehunter team pushing lineups is they don't have that big team fight ultimate to kind of keep everything together. that's what Tide really brings to those kinds of lineups, where he simply presses R and makes it so that even if you force a team fight out by your constant pushing, you'll always have the advantage in those situations.
Yeah, for sure. Especially since last game, Duza Gaming were heavily relying on that Earthshaker who was never able to get off the ground. Having another way to start those team fights in a secondary Blink Initiator, or rather in this case it would probably be your primary Blink Initiator, would be wonderful for them, and a great way to start out your pushing lineups, and something that's pretty much core in a lot of ways of going about the game. Still eating through a lot of their reserve time. In fact, both teams have, as the net reserve time for both of these teams is only about 45 seconds.
Yeah, in fact, Duza Gaming taking a lot of time, same amount of time right now as your family. Both of them, thinking hard about their drafts, as this is really where things start getting important. The first two picks generally similar from most games. We do see a gyrocopter of all things.
Yeah, Gyro, not a hero that I was really anticipating that they'd be able to, or that they would pick up, rather. Presumably he is going to be played in the safe lane farming position. I don't think we'll be seeing a safe lane farming Death Prophet with the mid Gyrocopter, although it could be a choice. I don't know, with the slow coming up from the Skywrath Mage as well as the Fissure from the Earthshaker, they have a decent amount of ways to make sure that the Gyrocopter is able to lock onto a target with that Rocket Barrage early, and well, I don't know, I think Gyrocopter is definitely a little bit underutilized, and well, we'll have to see how Duza Gaming are going to put him to use as your family go ahead and pick up the Shadow Shaman. No big surprises there.
Yeah, Shadow Shaman just so good at pushing, just good as a support in general. Countering with that Lich Slow that kind of gets rid of Shadow Shaman's big weakness of being the slowest support in the game, I think. Or one of the slowest supports in the game, and we've got a very solid lineup coming out from your family with Duza Gaming. Slightly weirder, more team fight focused, but the Void always there with that possible team fight to counter initiation.
Yeah, definitely. I think this last ban from Duza Gaming is a little bit problematic for them. We're probably going to be seeing a mid-hero picked up by them, but instead they go ahead and ban out the Weaver. Duza Gaming have some decent tools to deal with the Weaver. They have 2 silences as well as some solid stuns coming out from the Earthshaker. So honestly, I wouldn't be too scared of the Weaver pick coming out from your family. I think that Invoker is going to be a pretty solid pick if they want to go for it.
Yeah, we are going to be waiting for this last ban, and I say Duza Gaming, they do still need their offlaner right now. And banning out something like a Tide would definitely be a solid option. Although there is still the Bristleback, which we saw they picked up last game too, some pretty good usage, and as well as the Centaur. 3 very popular offlaners still available in the current pool. As they're going to ban out that Tide.
No big surprises there. I'd like to see the Centaur more than I'd like to see the Bristleback, but no. It's a Dazzle coming out from Duza Gaming, so one of these heroes is going to be played in a core position, whether it be Earthshaker, Skywrath Mage, or Dazzle. I don't know which one is going to be taking up the core position, but this could also be an aggressive trialing. I don't know, I was not expecting Dazzle at all.
This surely has to be an aggressive trialing, because they don't have an offlaner. As in, that's just simply the case, it has to be an aggressive. And I will say Dazzle in an aggressive trial lane is a nice hero to have, just because of his Shallow Grave means that no matter how deep they try and dive you, as they do pick up a Nature's Prophet in response, just knowing that Nature's Prophet is going to have more than enough space to be able to do whatever he wants, due to the fact that this is going to be an aggressive trial lane.
Yeah, for sure, presumably going to be 1v1 up against the Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter, if Nature's Prophet is playing a little too aggressively, could get a kill on the Nature's Prophet, but more than likely Nature's Prophet just going to have a decent time farming, as is the Gyro. Yeah, I'm not sure about this choice to go aggressive by Duza Gaming. We might also see an aggressive trialing coming out from your family just to dodge the trialing coming out from Duza. Or we could also be seeing dual lanes, maybe Lich Nature's Prophet and Shadow Shaman Faceless Void. I have no idea. But even if Faceless Void does get shut down fairly early on as far as farm is concerned, he should be able to get his experience, and as we saw in previous games, even if he doesn't have the most farm, as long as he has that level 6 up at a decent time, he can still have a good game impact in those team fights.
Yep, and I will say that for the gaming side, there's also the possibility of them putting the Clockwork in the aggressive lane. Because it is something that some teams do like to run, where you get that stun off with the Earthshaker, and then just simply get the Rocket Barrage, and as long as he's got one person on his own, that's basically simply an easy kill. As we are going to see a Dust coming out on your family side.
Well, I'll go ahead and introduce your family who are playing on the Radiant with Vlado playing on the Nature's Prophet, Cure on the Lich, Faceless Void going to be taken up in the mid yet again by Kranich. He had a good game last time, so let's see how he's going to be able to focus, or work out this game, as Sun1's going to be playing on the Viper. I believe that's a return performance as well, as Vendril going to be taking up the Shadow Shaman.
In the meantime, on the opposite side, we do have Duza. They're currently one game behind, and they've picked up an interesting lineup. We are going to have Limbo on the Scarith Mages. He's going to be going in this bottom lane. Unstable with 2 ends on the Earthshaker. I think that's actually a new stand-in. They've switched out the stand-in. Iceberg on the Death Prophet. Captain Love on the Dazzle. And Legion, Little Hat, on the Gyrocopter.
I believe that Unstable is playing the Earthshaker last game as well, so I don't think that's a new stand-in. But yeah, let's see if he's going to be able to get his Blink Dagger up early. I don't even think he had it at the end of the game last time.
Yeah, but it was a little bit of a shame for the Earthshaker as your family just came online a little bit faster, and that was all she wrote as they went GG, and we're here on this game number 2.
Yep, well, currently, the lanes are going to be very interesting coming out from Duza, as we have an offlane Earthshaker that's going to be supported by Limbo. I'm assuming that Earthshaker is going to be farming one, but with an Ult Talisman first on Limbo, it looks like Limbo is actually going to be the one taking up the farm. Honestly, I'd like to see Earthshaker get it more than the Skywrath Mage, but a little bit of blocking shenanigans coming out from them to make sure that their lane equilibrium is in a great position for them. Dazzle Gyrocopter up against a Nature's Prophet. Yeah, they could get a kill on the Nature's Prophet, but more than likely it's just going to be the Dazzle zoning the Natures with Gyrocopter taking up the farm. Mid, we're going to have Lich Faceless Void up against the Death Prophet, so some very peculiar laning combos coming out from both of these teams.
Yep, entirely is. As in, I don't think I've ever seen a Lich Void mid lane before against a Death Prophet.
Yeah,
the Death Prophet, I feel, has a good time here.
I think she'll do just fine. She'll definitely be getting a lot less than just solo up against a Faceless Void, mostly due to the fact that Lich is going to constantly be denying that experience. I've seen a Lich Faceless Void lane before up against a Viper, however, but yeah, I don't think it's really necessary to do so up against the Death Prophet.
I'm guessing they're just trying to get that Void farm whenever he can, and we did see that Void. He had some impact in the last game, maybe a few missed ultimates at times, but still a very good hero. Even if the ultimates are not quite as amazing as you might be.
Yeah, well, down in bottom, Shadow Shaman going to be the first blood here as Scarlet Mage with that level 3. And level 2 on the Earthshaker was enough to screw that up with a Fissure. Only caught the very back end of that, but I assume Unstable is just able to find a good Fissure block.
Yeah, picking that up along with the slow plus Arcane Bolts equals a very, very dead support. And that's going to be a very nice start there for Duza, the kind of start they're looking for, as this Viper is going to be left on their own. And once again, we're going to see Duza take an early game lead. And this Viper's got to be careful. And yeah, he kind of knows that these trees are full of danger and other painful stuff. As it's this Earthshaker, if he can get a good block off, can kill anyone on this family team at the moment.
Yeah, if he does isolate both of the heroes on the same side, they could be okay. I'm not sure how it's going to pan out, but Viper's just eating a lot of harassment with Scarlet Mage, and he might just be soloed, as the Fissure from long range and one more auto attack. The bottom lane has died once for each of the heroes as Scarlet Mage picks up a kill on the Viper. Yeah, 1 point Corrosive Skin is not going to make you safe, and Arcane Boots coming out from the Scarlet Mage at 2.5 minutes. The sustain is going to be wonderful for these two.
Yeah, this is a very bad situation. The stun comes out once more on the wrong side, but just being harassment. And with those boots, this Earthshaker can just keep spamming out as much as he wants.
Yeah, more or less, both of these heroes are going to have a lot of sustain. Earthshaker's been left solo right now, so Unstable just going to be able to soak a little bit of extra experience. But with a dual lane getting 2 kills, this Earthshaker is going to have a lot larger game impact than we saw last game. Either way, let's go ahead and talk about the other lanes for now. The CS in mid isn't that terrible for the Death Prophet, even though she's losing in the raw numbers. Most of that can be attributed to the Lich, so kind of as expected, just doing okay. Nature's Prophet hasn't been able to get much with the 2 heroes in lane, one being mostly focused on zoning out. He's only 4 and 3. Is the TP coming down in bottom, potentially? I'm not sure where he went. No, they're going on to mid with the Sprout onto Iceberg, and Iceberg's going to drop one more batch as style points go to the Faceless Void. Lich trying to salve up. He dies to the tower, so Death Prophet gets that little extra bit of gold at the very least. Yeah, I wasn't sure where the Nature's Prophet was going, but in the end, it makes sense. Death Prophet going to be the kill.
Yeah, and I will say there's a rather nice move there coming out from Faceless Void, as he does have a Quelling Blade, meaning he cut through his own team Sprouts. We do see the Dazzle being annoying right there, and he is going to get Sprouted up, and he might die right now.
Yeah, time walk forward, looking for the bash. He does have the Grave, but that's not going to save you. One way or another, he is going to die. They save their auto attacks, and Faceless Void secures himself 2 kills, 2-0 and 0 on the Faceless Void, and almost level 5, despite being in a dual lane.
Yeah, that is not the start you want to see if you're on the Urza side. Let's just face it.
Viper down in bottom. Arcane Bolts, the auto attacks are enough, but the Ether Shock will get the return kill onto the Skywrath Mage, boosting Vendrill's experience, but still, this Skywrath Mage has just picked up a lot of traction down in bottom. Yeah, this Viper not going to have an early mech by any stretch of the imagination, although still CSing okay at 19 and 2.
Yep. As we all got to see the Viper, he might want to have gone for that Earthshaker, because he's very, very low right now. Just one or two, a few more auto attacks would be enough. As it looks like they're going to go for this for Fendril right now. Shadow Shaman taking a whole bunch of damage. One more Arcane Bolt will do it.
Yeah, TP in from the Nature's Prophet looking for Sprout. He doesn't have the mana for it, however. With the slows from the Viper, they might be able to catch out Unstable. Let's see Unstable. He's juking through. His Skywrath Mage is also in the side, salving up and potentially looking for a turn. And with all the support Skywrath Mage that we've seen as of late, it's easy to forget how much damage it comes out from the Skywrath once he does get those early levels, especially with a Null Talisman. That Arcane Bolt is hurting a whole heck of a lot. Yeah, for sure. They've been able to pick up 4 kills in this bottom lane, 4-1 and 0 on the Skywrath, and now he has his level 6. I don't think they can really show their faces when the Earthshaker gets back.
Yeah, the Earthshaker stun plus that ultimate is going to basically equal death, and we kind of saw right there the reason why they didn't get the kills was because that only one level in poison attack right now just meant that they could simply run away and nothing else happened.
Yeah, Skywrath Mage, one of the faster heroes in the game. Especially now that he has his Arcane Boots online. Earthshaker not so fast, but the way that they split up and the Skywrath Mage was able to heal up towards the side meant that if they dove, they would have gotten another kill, and in the end they just backed off. They're going to see the Fissure, and there's your combo you were talking about earlier on, as Sunwan's falling very low. Limbo's not able to get the second Arcane Bolt, and they might be able to make a turn on with the Shackles coming up for the Skywrath Mage, or Shadow Shaman rather, and Skywrath Mage will be the return kill. So finally, they're going to be able to get a kill onto this Viper.
Yeah, very nice right there, as the Shadow Shaman just doing his job, getting that shackle off. Only level 1 right now, but still going to be more than enough to pick up that kill onto the Skywrath Mage. As my mind just went blank right there. In the meanwhile, we do see a possible gank coming in by the Earthshaker, as Void's going to be a little bit careful, but he does have his level 2 Time Walk and the Chronosphere, so he should be more than fine.
Yeah, they have the Silence and the Fissure to lock him in place, but I don't think they'll have the damage in order to take him down, especially if he backtracks one of the auto attacks. I think you need all of the damage you can get, and potentially another support rotation. Well, Gyrocopter's farm has been good up in top lane. However, the Nature's Prophet has not died, and they haven't put too much damage onto this, or rather, they've put a lot of damage on this tier 1 tower. But with the Lich coming up here to help the Nature's Prophet, they've also secured a little bit of extra experience for themselves. Faceless Void currently the leader in CS, as in mid. He's managed to find himself 43 and 6. With the early start coming up from the Lich, there's very little that Death Prophet can do to pressure him in lane.
Now, I'm going to note right now that Nature's Prophet looks like he's going to be trying to go for what looks like to be a Midas. He's already got the Gloves of Haste in his inventory, so what do you think about that? As it's already 7 minutes in, and he's nowhere near his Midas. Should he be going for this right now?
I don't know. This used to be your traditional build at about yeah, before we consecutively saw the Blinks in mid lane. They dropped the Chronosphere onto the Death Prophet, easy kill on her. But yeah, back to the Nature's Prophet for a split second. Yeah, this used to be your standard build. I don't know. He's going into mid, TPN just to push the tower. But yeah, there you go. It's very easy for him to get away with this. He can farm very fast with it. But then again, I think yeah, it looks like they're just going to play this for the late game with the Faceless Void as well as Nature's Prophet core. I don't know, that's pretty much all I was going to say. Lost my train of thought there for a second. But yeah, in the end, that's the choice that the Nature's Prophet is going to make. He could also be going for the Maelstrom. That is also another choice if they want to be going a little bit more aggressive. The extra damage as well as lane pushing power from Maelstrom is also solid.
And right now, if we have a quick look at the stats, we're 8 minutes in, and we're already, you know, again, in a similar situation. I'm on about a 500 gold lead for Duza, which isn't really that much at this point of the game, as well as around about a 500 experience lead for Family.
Yeah, pretty much what happened last game is down in bottom. Scarlet Mage ulti onto the Viper, he's dead. They shackle Limbo under the Serpent Wards, and it looks like Limbo's going to die. Faceless Void is also coming in here with the haste rune. They're going to get a bash on Unstable, and Unstable going to be cleaned up by the Nature's Prophet who rotated in. And, well, yeah, just getting caught up by that Shadow Shaman level 6 that he picked up this early on, mostly due to the kill that he was able to get onto the Skywrath Mage a couple of minutes ago. And now sitting at level 7, Fendril is very happy as the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah. It's awesome to have that early level 7, as not only can you start to, doing amazing work like that, picking up 2 kills, but also you can start pushing and doing that tower damage, and just dropping those walls and getting that tower advantage.
Yeah, and I love what Fendril is doing right now with his words. He's also able to pick up a little bit of extra jungle farm, making good use of that, stacking up the large camp beforehand even. So yeah, down at bottom, the Scarlet Mage gets killed in the Faceless Void, as he's just caught up by the combo. Just a lot of action going around in this bottom lane.
Yeah, the Faceless Void going down. That's actually pretty crucial right now, as he was the highest last hitter in the game right now. If we have a quick look at the net worth, he is actually, in fact, the highest farmer by quite a bit, even with that death. But it looks like they're going to be trying to change that, as they are going for a push here on this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, looks like Limbo is going to be building into the Force Staff next. However, with the Null Talisman, this could be a Dagon, although very unconventional. Wouldn't be entirely opposed to it. It would be able to burst down the heroes coming up from your family very quickly, especially with the Arcane Seal, or Ancient Seal, rather, on that target. Yeah, but I think this is more or less going to be a Force Staff or Rod of Atos for him.
Yeah. Personally, I think it should be Divine Rapier or Go Home.
Solid choices, solid choices. Well, down in bottom, the Lich Chainfrost comes out as he's silenced just a split second too late. It bounces back to the Dazzle. They're not going to get another lucky bounce to any heroes, but the Body Box come out in the Dazzle as he drops the Sallow Grave to delay the Neville. Scarlet Mage ulti going to completely miss, but Fendril still going to be chased down. One more Crypt Storm will do the trick, and now 2-0 is going to be the kill score, as Dazzle's actually going to be able to survive.
Yep, that Grave for just being so in handy right there, especially when you're in a team fight. You just can't focus the Dazzle when he's running away with that Grave on him. And are we going to see even more pushing? We've only got the level 1s, but see Scarlet Mage is going to catch out the Faceless Void. He does have his Chronosphere though up, and his stance is going to stop in a few moments. The stun comes in, and Viper is going to pick up 1 kill, the face onto the Dead Prophet, and Chronosphere gets the money ultimate. But sadly, he can't cash in as just doesn't have enough damage.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet falls to the Skywrath Mage and Faceless Void looking for the jukes. He's going to be caught out by Limbo, or Willie. Do they get the vision? They get the silence as well as the Arcane Bolt. Echo Slime committed for that. Yeah, Skywrath Mage didn't have enough mana for his full combo, so committing that's definitely worth it if they're able to get the kill. And now the tier 1 tower. Yeah, the ultimate was good coming out from the Faceless Void, but he wasn't able to save any of his allies, and without any of his allies there to put out the damage, he wasn't able to get any kills either. The Viper died to the mostly just the call down from the Gyrocopter, as well as that follow-up missile that he sent out. Nature's Prophet's able to pick up his Midas at about 11.5 minutes in, which isn't the worst as he TP's in mid. Oh no, they're not going to commit for that as the tier 1 tower falls to the Serpent Wards.
Yeah, they are going to pick up that, and that's going to be even more advantage there coming out for a little bit of advantage, I mean, for your family. But Duza, having that nice team fight, I think they currently are ahead, in fact, ahead by quite a bit in terms of gold. 2,000 gold in their favor, while the experience is roughly the same at 3,000.
Yeah, Atos is going to be the choice coming from the Skywrath Mage. We'll have that completed as soon as he's able to make his way towards the side shop. And while usually you don't see a Skywrath Mage getting this much farm early on, but with the farming priority that they've given, as well as the kills that he's been able to pick up 8, 3, and 2 on Limbo, they'll be able to have that completed. And with the combo Concussive Shot with the Atos as well as the Ancient, so you can solo kill heroes very easily, especially with the level 11 ultimate. They ping out Iceberg and mid as the invised up Cure is going to go for this, but no backup. It looks like bottom's going to be the place where they're going to go as the Faceless Void is pushing out this lane. It looks like he's going to get caught out. Concussive Shot, silence up with the Atos and Skywrath Mage ultimate. Kranich is very dead.
Yeah, that is very, very dead. Didn't even need anything else other than that. Just simply putting those ultimates together. And, well, you know, that's going to be a very nice kill down to family, as the Void used to be the highest farm in the game, but now he's starting to drop off just due to the constant ganks coming out from a Duza, and they do realize that they can't keep this to the late game. Once again, their lineup is a little bit more earlier than your families, but this time they're taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and I mean, even in a super late game scenario where it goes beyond 45 minutes, they'll still have the Gyrocopter 6 slot to fall back on and good defensive supports as well. And not to underestimate Skywrath Mage, if we're able to get to the super late game, Bloodstone with Agon and Scepter can be really dirty, especially if you have an Ethereal Blade on top of that. I don't know, that's a lot of theory crafting, but I still think that Duza would be okay going to the late game as long as they have a slight advantage. Up in top, we have the Frostblast being thrown out as well as the Hex. They look for the Chronosphere, they find it onto the Call Down, not going to land on very much of anything. The Lich Chain Frost going bounce back to the Dazzle as he's taking too much damage. In the meantime, the Gyrocopter is going to fall, but the Scarlet Mage ulti drops the Faceless Void simultaneously. Viper focused down on the Dazzle as the Grave goes away with the Death Prophet, but double kill for Scarlet Mage as he's able to chase down one more in the form of the Shadow Shaman, and now Vlado, he gets Atos up, not going to dive the tower for that one as this fights have been going very sprawled out across the map as a lot of mini engagements have been going on. But in the end, 2 for 2 trade, 1 support, 1 core for 1 support, 1 core.
Yeah, mostly very, very equal right there, but at the same time, actually I do feel that's slightly in favor of Duza right now, as Faceless Void picked up on Midas and didn't get to use it, meaning all this time is wasted Midas time.
Oh, sorry about that. I had to mute the mic. I was about to sneeze, and in the end, I just had that awkward sensation where you don't sneeze when you really need to. Yeah. That's going to be the happening as the Tier 1 tower is going to fall in the favor of Duza Gaming. Yeah, I don't know. These, with that Tier 1 tower, it's definitely in the favor of them for this team fight. And this Scarlet Mage is picking up a lot of momentum. Honestly, I wouldn't be entirely... Whoa, the Dyer's Courier is going to die. Not sure where that actually fell. Let me go ahead and check. Nothing on it. It fell over here. Not sure why. As Duza is going to pick up another kill onto the Shadow Shaman up in top with the Fissure into the Scarlet Mage's barrage of spells.
Yeah, and the Lich is
Missile
desperately
on
trying to
Lich.
get out,
Yeah.
but that's a very dead Lich. Not even needing the missile. Going to be taken out with a final Crypt Swarm, and you know, Duza, they're having a very nice game right now, just taking control of the map, taking control of all these team fights, even against this Void. As the Void is getting the hell out of there.
And now the Tier 1 tower almost for sure going to fall. They don't need Exorcism for it, even though it is still on cooldown for 16 seconds. Tier 1 tower in the bottom is going to be the trade-off for this, as Viper and Nature's Prophet are taking that one. But I don't think they'll back off until the Tier 2 tower push comes, if it does.
Yeah, because you'd have to remember right now, surprisingly, with a Nature's Prophet, their push is pretty weak right now. The Nature's Prophet trees are good, but without that, without Necronomicon, the Faceless Void, the Nature's Prophet just doesn't really have that pushing potential. They are actually going to lose their Tier 1. They might be going for a Tier 2 right here, just trying to go for a 2-for-1 trade.
Well, Tier 2 tower down and bottom is going to trade, but they're going to lose their Tier 2 tower in mid, so a lot more map control being given the way of Duza, and they can definitely do this. In fact, some damage could go to the Tier 3 tower if they're not careful. They're losing a lot of their creep wave, but with still some seconds left up in the Exorcism, they'll get a little chip at the very least. Yeah, I don't know, just straight up trading, no initiation coming out from both teams.
Yeah, they just want to go get out of there, and they've picked up the advantage and just going to leave. As in the meanwhile, we do actually see the Shadow Shaman. They pick up another set of towers right there, popping down the Serpent Walls to pick up that Tier 1. As in fact, both these two teams are actually on equal towers right now.
Yeah, 2 Tier 2 standing on both sides. Blink Dagger on the Shadow Shaman's a pretty big pickup. He's been able to find that farm with all of the tower gold that he's been able to pick up. I think he got 2 last hits in the towers. But now the Blink Hex initiation is going to come, even though Shadow Shaman doesn't have the highest levels up in the Hex. It's still going to be very solid with 3. Yeah, I don't know. It's very awkward that we didn't see any initiations, but both teams are going to be fairly happy with the exchanges that they got. Duza getting their Tier 2 tower down, and yeah, I don't know, this Scarlet Mage, he's getting a lot of farm. I wouldn't be opposed to him going straight up for the Bloodstone next, disassemble those boots, but in fact he picks himself up a Mystic Staff, presumably towards the Shiva's Guard.
Yep, and I am going to note something right here. Gyrocopter is currently...
Okay, yeah, your note as Dazzle just gets bashed to death.
Yeah, as in, Gyrocopter right now is the second highest farmer in the game. He's currently, though, got 3,700 gold on him. What is he going for?
Well, they have a Dazzle as well as an Earthshaker, 2 great defensive supports, so is this a Rapier Rush? I don't know. Just waiting for the Courier to come back, I would expect, and then he'll buy a BKB. But yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know right now. Surely it can't be a Rapier Rush. Maybe he's trying to go for a pretty fast Satanic. No, that is going to be BKB.
Yeah, their Courier was dead for the most of that time, so just wait before he's able to pick that one up. No real reason. Buying the components if you can't use them. Well, so now with the Courier available, I believe he had the Ogre Club on that, so he wasn't able to complete it. Actually, there was nothing on that Courier, so he could have bought the components. I don't know. In the end, Legion just makes the more standard item choice.
Yeah, picking up that BKB, very nice timing there at 18 minutes in, plus his help with the Dominator. not quite dominating in terms of farming, but both these two teams very close in terms of gold. The 2k lead that Duza once had has been removed, with Family now bringing it all the way back to almost a 0.
Yeah, could be anybody's game, but the experience is in the favor of Duza, and I think currently the fighting potential coming out from Duza is a little bit scarier, especially if Faceless Void doesn't get off the perfect Chronosphere. That said, there is the chance that he's able to catch 3 or more heroes inside the Chrono, in which case your family would definitely win that team fight. But I don't know, there's the Blink Initiation coming out from both sides, with Unstable picking up his at a solid timing for a support Earthshaker, especially after going for Arcane Boots first, as well as the Blink coming out from the Shadow Shaman. It's all going to be about who gets the jump on who.
As the Chronosphere is barely going to hit, only going to hit one though, and that's mostly a wasted Chronosphere. Faceless Void is going to have to get out of there, going to TP away, and the stun is actually going to hit Shadow Shaman. He's desperately trying to get out of there, but you know, the Scarlet Mage just wasn't chasing right there. Blink daggers coming out all over the place. And no one dies, but a very big ultimate there pops by the Void, and that's going to be another 70 seconds worth of where they don't have the ultimate in hand.
Yeah, it pretty much neuters their ability to fight in these team fights for a couple more seconds. So honestly, that's a pretty huge win for Duza, especially if they're able to take this tier 2 tower in bottom because of it.
Yeah, we are seeing, in fact, a small amount of grouping up happening here. Duza just taking control of the enemy jungle. Even got a little centaur with him with that stomp. As Legion is just going to basically solo farm this creep wave, using his lifesteal to very nice gain. And there's no one really to try and punish this, as it looks like they're going to be trying to go for a split push. 1 up here on top, coming out from the Nature's Prophet, and 3 pushing through the middle as Dazzle is going to pause the game. I was going to wonder when the pause in this game was going to come out, and it looks like it's going to be now.
Yeah, that is the choice. So 1 disconnect coming up from the Death Prophet, so that is the case. We might be seeing a straight up tower trade yet again, but if they do go for it, your family would come out on top with Nature's Prophet pushing with the Necronomicon 3 up in top, as well as everybody else down in mid. So I think that Duza either need to take this tower incredibly fast or just straight up back off. They do have a TP going onto the Earthshaker, but I think that's just going straight back to base.
It's actually going on to mid, I think.
Oh yeah, I can't see it on my mini-map actually, but yeah, there you go. There's your effect.
As we are also seeing the effect of people drawing in the map as the pause is coming out, and while we're here on this pause, it is worth noting Death Prophet looks like you're going to be trying to go for a heart, so just trying to go up for that straight up tanky build, popping off for ultimate and simply getting that damage done that way. In the meanwhile, Duza on the Limbo with the Scarlet Mage looks like he's going for a pretty fast Hex, already got the Mystic Staff in hand, and pretty close to the rest of the items.
Yeah, they're still waiting on a Dazzle mechanism for their team. Death Prophet wasn't forced into building that one, but it's going to be fairly heavily delayed coming out from Captain Love. But even just with the Buckler, it adds a little bit of extra pushing power to this current push. Yeah, so as the choice. I like the heart coming out from the Death Prophet, especially if she's not going to be going for the mechanism. I think you need a lot of tank on Death Prophet, and BKB honestly isn't the best item up against your family. They have good ways to initiate on you before you get the BKB with the Blink Hex coming out from Shadow Shaman, as well as just controlling you inside BKB, kiting you around with Viper Ultimate Slow, as well as the Faceless Void Chronosphere. So yeah, BKB on the Gyrocopter is okay. There's not very many other ways to tank up on the hero. As you said earlier, it could have rushed for the State Tank, but I think that's okay on the Gyrocopter. But yeah, for the Death Prophet, I do like the heart.
Yep, we are seeing both these two teams just getting into the right items. You are seeing the level 3 Necro on the Nature's Prophet, as I was mentioning before. He's not the greatest split pusher without that item, but once you get it, he becomes a beast, just knocking down towers like they're towers made out of candy. There's probably a better analogy out there somewhere, but I can't think of it.
More than likely, but the candy towers will start melting to the Nature's Prophet.
Viewers, do my job for me. Tell me a better analogy.
Yeah, not sure how to follow up with that one, especially since we are paused. Both teams are postured around the towers that they're going to push, and it looks like the defense is going to come out for Duza. I don't think they'll fully commit to this tier 2 in bottom. They want to make sure that they don't lose more than they can take.
Actually, let's follow up with a looking at the banners of both these two teams. As in, who's do you prefer? As in, I'm preferring the banners of Duza at the moment. Got that Medusa on there, looking pretty kick-ass. Or Death Prophet.
I think that is Medusa. Your family, they're I like their banner. 5 dudes, they didn't edit it properly, so there's little white tabs on the bottom. Not sure if that's intentional or not, but in the end, yeah, I think Duza wins. Very slightly.
Yeah, slightly better. I say slightly better artwork. Although I do like the thing they've done with your family, having the I think that's the player names in there on their the on the ground of the base logo.
Yep, that is, and yeah, I like their little, I don't know, what would you call that, tile? Either way, we're gonna get back into this game as the G's come out from both teams.
Yeah, thank God. And after that, we're probably going to have to just like a fashion show or something, as we run out completely of things to talk about.
Yeah, well, actually, Duza are going to wait and push out the bottom tier 2 and try to get as much damage on that as possible before defending their own towers. We do have the ice armor coming out onto the tower, and it's slowing down this push as well as the glyph. I think at this point you just back off, but for now they're committing, and Nature's Prophet has the Necros on the ground and getting comparable damage to their tier 2 tower in their safe lane as well. With the Exorcism finally popped by Iceberg, they will at least make this an even trade.
Yeah, the tier 2 tower is surely going to go down, but they probably will get the deny for it, and it looks like they want to go for this Nature's Prophet. This Nature's Prophet is in so much trouble. Going to get silenced up, but he's trying to run away. Is he surely not going to be able to get out of there? The ultimate is doing huge amounts of damage, and yep, he will go down, lose his life for what was a tower kill. He did get the tower kill, not denied.
Yeah, he got it with the Necronomicons. Unfortunately, the call down did miss, so they weren't able to chase him down fast enough to secure that. But Viper gets a kill on the Earthshaker somewhere inside the jungle. Didn't actually see how that happened, but I think he just ticked down to the poison damage at the end of the day.
Yep, as in both mostly getting equal trades right now, as we do see Scarith Mage going in for the kill, but the Force Staff on Lich just too strong, and he's going to get out there. Although he's only level 10 right now, not quite got that level 2 ultimate yet on the Chain of Frost.
Which is a little bit unfortunate, but we just haven't seen a very good Chain Frost coming out from Kiri. He hasn't found a good opportunity yet. Really, most of the fights have been when Duza are pushing, so most of the time it bounces to creeps after hitting heroes once or twice.
I am going to note something right now coming out from the ward of Duza is just how aggressive they are. Just look at their ward position. They've got one here in the middle of the jungle. All of them here just gaining so much vision. Literally, they know exactly what's going on if they cross that line in the map.
Yeah, and it's led to them to get several good pickoffs. Faceless Void going to be building towards that BKB as his next item. So going defensive, but up against the team of Duza, I think this is very important for him, but still a lot of physical damage as well from the Gyrocopter as well as the Death Prophet. He'll probably need an Assault Cuirass on top of this for his team.
Yeah, this Faceless Void is going to need a lot of items before he starts carrying us. He is only the 3rd highest farmer in the game right now, slightly behind the Gyrocopter, even with his Midas, and way behind the Midas carrying Nature's Prophet on his own team.
Scarith Mage picks up the Shiva's Guard for his team. I like this choice as he goes aggressively onto the Faceless Void. He's blown up before Fentral's actually able to do much, but they jump in with the Chain Frost committed. Will it bounce to him another time in Limbo? Looks like he's going to be giving up his life, but Fentral, he might fall now. Not going to be able to get a second Arcane Bolt off. So in the end, a fairly even exchange, carry for carry.
I'd probably say slightly better for Duza right there, as the Void, he needs his items and farm a lot more than the Scarith Mage does. The Scarith Mage right now is slowly approaching his peak.
Yeah, up in top, we do have the tier 2 tower going the way of Duza, so with all that space created by the Scarith Mage, they'll be able to take that one. So at the end of the day, a very large win for Duza. Yeah,
but in fact, there's only one tier 2 tower left on the entire map. It is this middle one on the Dire side. And at this point, it's going to be a little bit difficult for Duza to try and push up into that tier 3 just because of that Void and Lich ultimates coming out.
Yeah, so for now, they are just going to back off and probably wait for the Gyrocopter to pick up his next big item, presumably the Monkey King bar, but no, he's going to be going for the Butterfly. Not a huge fan of this choice. It gives him a lot of damage, but inside the Chronosphere, the evasion is going to be negated. So yeah, it's okay. I would have liked just the straight up Monkey King bar a little bit better.
Yeah, as in the main
down at bottom, Echo Slam committed onto Vlado with the Enchant Totem. Earthshaker just soloed up the Nature's Prophet.
Very nice work right there. I guess that's the issue you have with the Treants.
Yeah, just a lot of extra damage being pumped out towards that Nature's Prophet. But yeah, Gyrocopter.
No, but I will say the Gyrocopter, the Butterfly, there's not really anyone on your family's side who has that physical damage. As in the closest he may have is a Nature's Prophet, but he's way far away from being that right-clicking threat that usually can be as reduced as possible. Initiation here onto the Scarlet Mage as he does get taken down. Not even a Chronosphere committed, just getting time-locked into his death.
Yeah, I know Scarlet Mage's health pool really doesn't cut it, especially when you're caught in between 4 enemy heroes. There's very little hope for you to escape, especially without a Force Staff or anything along those lines. Yeah, so Mechanism completed by the Dazzle at about 25 minutes. It's kind of expected that your support won't get it up that early, but looks like mid's going to be the next position as Death Prophet has an Invis, so we might be seeing a very important silence coming out, or, I don't know, Unstable throws out the Fissure, catches out Viper on the wrong side, but Vendrill's also here smoked up, drops the Serpent Wards, and they should be able to get this tower as Death Prophet pauses the game.
Awesome, our second pause of the game right now. I think we need at least 2 pauses a game recently. As in, have you actually cast a game that hasn't a pause recently?
No, usually we start out with 1 in the beginning and then have at least 1 during the game. But it looks like Iceberg's having a couple of mouse issues. In the end, Gyrocopter actually falls. Wasn't looking where that was happening, but now in mid, the fight breaks out with the ultimate coming out. Exorcism doing a decent amount of damage, but Viper, he's focused down Unstable. With the extra help from the Dazzle, he will survive for a little bit longer, but I think eventually he is going to die. Necronomicon killed by the Death Prophet, and now he's going to be in a bit of trouble, even with that hard thrust, going to be bashed down by the Faceless Void. They're taking a lot of damage from Exorcism. Now Roshan going to say hi. Fortunately for Iceberg, he wasn't first hit bashed by Roshan. TP in from Vlado, not going to find the Sprout, looking for it, Blind, not going to find it, turn around, silence onto 2, now the Scarlet Mage joins the fray with the ultimate onto Crunch, they're going to be able to get him, and Iceberg is healing back up, and now they jump in with the Shiva's Guard. He's actually all the way back up to full, pretty much. Now they're silencing up the Viper, and he's taking a decent amount of damage, not as much with that Corrosive Skin. They're splitting their focus as they silence up the Viper, while the Death Prophet tries to clean up the kill onto the Lich there. They get the Lich in. Now Scarlet Mage gets the kill on the Viper with 1 more Arcane Bolt. Now they find these treants that they'll also clean up.
Yep, nice work there coming out from Duza. I just feel that your family, they kind of went too far for that Death Prophet kill. Death Prophet is very, very close, very, very tanky, and if you can't get that ultimate off on her, there's no real way you're going to take her out.
Well, the creeps following Earthshaker just gave a kill to Nature's Prophet with that ultimate. Very unfortunate that he was able to get that vision there, but in the end, that's going to tip the scales a little bit further towards the side of your family, so it's not going to be that bad of a trade. But still, a pretty convincing team fight win for Duza. They did lose their tier 2 tower, actually, so maybe your family are going to be happy with that exchange, but still the net worth is favoring Duza.
Well, I say the net worth is favoring Duza, but actually it seems slightly in favor of your family right now, but at the moment, there hasn't been more than a 2k lead on either side. These two teams, even though the kills are quite far in favor of Duza, they are keeping it close.
Yeah,
just due to those Midases.
Pretty much. The experience, because of the kill advantage that is 5 in the favor of Duza, they're going to be able to get that little bit of extra gold in their pockets. I don't know, Shadow Shaman, he's going to bump into the Gyrocopter inside the jungle. Who's going to get the drop on who with the Ether Shock, as well as wards committed. They're going to shackle in place with Nature's Prophet jumping in, and Legion looks like he's going to give up the kill. He drops the call down, but doesn't get anything, and well, they brought the Faceless Void in at the very end, but he wasn't even necessary, as both of these two heroes were able to get the kill.
He just runs in and tanks the cooldown to the face for no apparent reason.
More or less, but the push is going to start coming out from Vlado up in top lane. All of the tier 2 towers in this game have been taken, so the Nature's Prophet's job is pretty much to put as much chip damage onto the tier 3s as he can.
Yep, as we are seeing this Void. The interesting thing we're seeing right now from Family is they're simply farming up the enemy jungle, and that's always a good sign to see from a team, just knowing how much map control you have right now.
Yeah, and Gyrocopter still hasn't completed his butterfly. He's still sitting on that Eagle Song, and he does have the Talisman Evasion in the bank, so I'll have it quickly. But yeah, not the fastest farm in your Gyro.
No, the Gyro kind of dropping behind a little bit from this Death Prophet and the Nature's Prophet. The Death Prophet farming up surprisingly well, considering that she doesn't have a Midas compared to the other two farmers, while the Void just not finding the farmers. You know, he's going to get killed there by that combo once more. And that's going to give him even worse. He's currently now only the 5th highest farmer, which is not really what you want to see on your Void.
I don't know, a lot of pickups going around the map. Dazzle actually fell dangerously low to the Viper as well as Nature's Prophet. He was able to grave TP out of there, and then inside the base he didn't take down because he saved the mechanism until he got there. So well played by the Dazzle, but unfortunately faces Void with the silence coming out from the Ancient Seal, just too much damage going his way. So we have a BKB pop down and bottom as they jump on to Limbo with the Ether Shock as well as the Shackles to hold him in place. They should be able to get this kill. Radiant Scurry dies in the meantime towards mid. It looks like Earthshaker was able to blink and get that with an Enchant Totem. But yeah, both of these teams, these team fights have been very spread out across the map. In the end, 1 for 1, if you count the Faceless Void in there as well as a Courier, a little bit favored towards Duza. But getting the Scarlet Mage picked up yet again is definitely not where they want to be.
Yeah, as in we are the Scarlet Mage, though. I do feel that his work in this game is starting to slowly reach its end, as we are seeing the BKBs coming out from all these various people. You've got the BKB on the Void, and I would have expected a few more. I should have BKBs by now.
Nature's Prophet has one, yeah, and we're still waiting on Viper if he does go for that. Currently, he's decently tanky with the Mech Aghanims as well as the Blade Mail, however. Well, they're going to find the Death Prophet, Eul's Scepter up in the air. Vendril, he can lock her down, but no, the Silence comes out on both of them with the Fissure also landing on 2. They Viper Strike her up, and now the Chronosphere comes out. It's still doing so much damage to Vendril, but Iceberg looks like he will fall in the very end. So yeah, at least they got the Shadow Shaman there, but still Death Prophet getting caught out in a very awkward situation.
Yeah, but it was a little bit... It was a very nice trade there coming out for your family. Picking up a carry in favor of your support. Always a nice thing, and that's going to give Nature's Prophet more time to go, push, go farm. And that's really what he's focusing on right now. Trying to become that late game threat with that Maelstrom. He's got his pushing items. Now all he needs is his attack items.
Yeah. I don't know. Nature's Prophet, although not the best right-clicking hero, is currently hitting harder than the Faceless Void. Both of them with fairly similar items. But yeah, especially on single targets outside of the Chronosphere, Nature's Prophet is king. Inside Chronosphere, the extra bashes from the Faceless Void will help him a lot more when focusing down, but Nature's Prophet is still not too shabby, especially if they're able to drop people low. Then Nether Toxin will start kicking in from the Viper. But yeah, as this game drags on a little bit later, your family's physical damage is going to start scaling off very hard, whereas Duza still have plenty of room to grow on their Gyrocopter, and Death Prophet, the Exorcism is still very strong.
Yes, we are approaching minute 31 as games go in this current meta. This is a very long game. As in, anything that isn't like a 15-minute GG is surprising.
Well, yeah, I think the this is pretty much the average game length. Maybe a little bit longer than that, but we should be nearing into the late game. As at this time, neither team really has a huge lead. The gold is in favor of your family currently at about 4,000 once that updates after giving away that Death Prophet kill, but even that at this point in the game is very negligible and still a slight experience lead for Duza. But that might change after this Roshan. They're going to pop it with the or pop the Lincoln's effect with the Poison Touch, but I don't think that's really necessary as they don't have other things to go for it. But with the Exorcism as well as the Gyrocopter Helmet Dominator, should be able to take this. Let's see how this initiation is going to go down. It looks like they're looking for the Chronosphere. Will be able to find it in time. BKB Chronosphere. It only catches out Iceberg, and the initiation isn't very clean, but Limbo looks like he's going to fall on the back lines. Call down. They get the Roshan on the Gyrocopter. Now he's going to join the rest of his side with the Dazzle throwing the Grave onto Iceberg with the Yules. It looks like she's going to survive throughout this as the Faceless Void's taken down, and now the Viper not looking too healthy as well. Lich falls on the back line. Death Prophet eventually does fall to Fentril. Blinky in, getting a couple of Ether Shocks onto him, but I don't know, Viper's still man fighting up against Captain Love as he gets stunned up by the missile, and this Gyrocopter's just not doing enough damage. Grave yet again onto the Dazzle, TPing back to base. I think he might take down to base. Actually, let's see. No, he'll be just fine as the Grave lasts long enough. Nature's Prophet pushing out top in the meantime. An absolute bloodbath, but at the end of the day, Duza probably come out on top, getting the Roshan as well as the Aegis.
Yeah, picking up that, getting the Aegis and the Roshan is really crucial, as that team fight was a little bit all over the place. But we just saw right now, I think the crucial moment was that Death Prophet surviving for so long in the Chronosphere, the Shallow Grave, then the Eul's Scepter. Her ultimate basically took out the Void, and what should have been an instant 4 versus 5 situation wasn't.
Yeah, and had they caught the Gyrocopter also in that Chronosphere, they would have been a lot better off because he wouldn't have been able to take down the Roshan and get the Aegis in that situation. So I think, yeah, they needed to kill the Dazzle early on, but up on top lane, they have a Blink Hex available. Ventral's going to be caught out. He is 4-step forward. Blink, will he find the initiation? There is no BKB for 3 seconds on Legion. He drops the call down, and Ventral's taking a lot of damage from this, but he's now shackled up, and with the Nature's Prophet as well as the Necronomicons and the Treants attacking him. He gets the BKB off, and now turns on the Fendril. He's going to be able to get this kill, but Legion looks like he's still going to die. Let's see. Fendril, he's caught inside a corner. There's nowhere for him to go. His TP does not have enough mana because of the spells that he used. He's turning a little bit towards Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet backs off. Why? I don't know. Maybe thinking that there was a little bit more backup coming there, but I think Vlado could have gotten that.
He could have gotten that, but he would have been in a little bit of trouble with this backup coming, and the fact that he had the Aegis of the Immortal coming back up, and that gank was... We're just seeing right now the Gyrocopter takes so much to take down right now with that butterfly. The fact he's able to basically tank through the initial burst, we've seen a possible initiation, but he's just going to jump back. Kranich getting away as soon as he can. And we are seeing a possible push coming in for this tier 3 tower up on bottom.
Yeah, so in the end, I think Nature's Prophet could have gotten that kill, but he probably would have been forced to BKB TP out. So just feeling that BKB charge is more worth saving on than getting the Aegis down the Gyrocopter. Because presumably if they're able to kill him in a team fight one time, they'll be able to take him down again, especially if he uses the BKB before the Aegis drops. Yeah, so in the end of the day, Nature's Prophet made the right choice, I feel.
Yeah, as we are approaching our third pause of the game coming out from the Lich. And something I just noticed here, that Death Prophet's stuff actually keeps moving while she's paused.
Yeah, there's several heroes that do have that little animation quirks when we do have pauses. Honestly, a suggestion I saw on Reddit that I actually quite liked is that potentially you have Faceless Void during pauses still being animated and like running around, potentially. I don't know, could be fun.
Just running on the spot like Looney Tunes style.
Absolutely. Or maybe just sits impatiently waiting.
Only if there's Looney Tunes music also comes with it.
Absolutely.
They got the Unreal Tournament sounds coming in, so they can get the Looney Tunes music, surely.
Well, it looks like Duza are going to start pushing up high ground with the Aegis, as well as Exorcism online. They have all of the tools that they need to do so. It's still very scary pushing up into the Chronosphere. We'll see how this is going to pan out for them.
Well, as long as it's only the Gyrocopter they get caught out, and that's a little bit weird saying that, but with the Gyrocopter having the Aegis, if he's the only one who gets caught out, then it's a very nice moment for Duza, as he can simply just come back and turn around and wreck the team fight. But either way, I think the team fight is going to be pretty close and a very huge decider on who wins this match.
Yeah, they still need to wait for the Earthshaker to join the fray, as well as Legion probably should be buying his next item. With 5,600 gold, at the very least, get yourself the Casual Demon Edge towards your MKB if you want to save for buyback.
Or he's just going to go pick up a, drop his town portal and pick up a casual Divine Rapier.
Casual Divine Rapier, I like it. Let's see. You wouldn't be able to... Yeah.
And then he just comes back with the Aegis and single-handedly takes down the opposite team in a base race.
In a base race, because Nature's Prophet is going for tier 3s and then straight for Throne.
Yeah.
It would be an epic end to this game, but I don't think we'll be seeing that. More than likely, Gyrocopter is just going to be building into the Monkey King bar next door. Maybe even just goes for the Satanic if he does want to go the Rapier route, because if you go for Rapier, you kind of have to do it properly. You have to get your Butterfly, Satanic, and BKB up first.
I thought the proper Divine Rapier build was just build 4 Divine Rapiers.
Yeah, brown boots into Rapiers. Oh, who needs boots even? Just go
Yeah,
Rapier.
I think if you've got that much damage, just one-shot everyone.
Absolutely. Wow.
I'd have to wonder if there is a game somewhere where just they've stored Divine Rapiers on the courier or something.
I don't know, it could happen. I probably is a pub, but I don't know. Probably have to check out Dat Dota if you want to find out. Viper going to be building towards an MKB up against the Gyrocopter will be very helpful, and it's been a long time since I've seen Viper actually be a right-clicking hero, but his animation and scaling is decently good, and with a Monkey King bar, definitely going to be annoying for them to deal with. Nature's Prophet not going to be hitting that point so quickly, presumably going to finish up the Mjolnir first. But yeah, for now, we're going to get back into this game, finally.
Yeah, we are going to be having our third and hopefully final pause finished off. Now, I'm not going to promise that, because with the way Dota goes, who knows. As we are actually seeing this push not going to be happening right now. After the pause, thinking better of it, and they're all just going to back off and go back to, farming a little bit here in the middle. Just trying to do some split pushing, while the king of split pushing is up here on top with Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, but I don't know. Gyrocopter is going to be boring and picks himself up a completed Satanic with his extra gold. So at the very least, he's going to be sitting in the middle of these teamfights quite a long time. But even without the big major damage item, he's going to have a lot of damage to use, sitting about 250 per auto attack with the Flak Cannon, giving that through 6 attacks. A lot of AoE damage coming out from him. But yeah, I think, honestly, just getting a straight up damage item as your next choice should be presumably the next option for Gyro. He's getting close to that 6-slotted territory after that.
Yeah, but he only really needs like 1 or 2 more items, depending on if he wants to leave a spot for the town portal or upgrade his boots to boots of travel.
Yeah. Unstable, does have the Aghanim Scepter, and up against family, I think that's perfectly fine, especially if they catch out the Nature's Prophet with his Zoo. With an Aghanim Scepter ultimate, it could be devastating if they find a good one. Up in top, Scarlet Mage going to be caught out. The Chain Frost is also going to be committed with TP in from Nature's Prophet. Limbo is very much dead, and I think they're just going to leave him be, as the lane is going to push out, but still, this Scarlet Mage has been caught out very consistently throughout this game, or at least the later portions of this game. Early on, he was doing very well, but I think that's 4 times he's died. 16, 8, and 3 is his KDA, still respectable, but honestly, I think he could find himself in better situations, because all they need to do is blink and hex him with the Shadow Shaman. I think just sticking with their team is usually a better option.
Yeah, because we are going to be seeing this push coming out from the top, just the Nature's Prophet being annoying, and just look how fast he pushes with that level 3 Necronomicon. The creeps don't stand a chance, but Gyrocopter pretty good at anti-pushing once he can get there.
Yeah, for sure. He actually fed away the melee Necronomicon towards Legion, so a little bit of extra gold going the way of this Gyrocopter, and he might actually have his next item before the next big team fight. With about 3k gold in his inventory, if he's not saving up for buyback, he'll have it. They are on a little bit of a timer, as they only have about 2.5 more minutes, or rather 1 minute, excuse me, for the Aegis. Just kind of lost track of time there with the pause. But in the end, if they want to make use of this, they need to do so now, and it doesn't look like they are going to do so. They're just going to kind of wait this one out before Gyrocopter gets his next item.
Yeah, but at this point, we've kind of hit that late game position where both the two teams know that the next team fight could be it, so they don't really want to go for the next team fight. They want to try and hope that they get the perfect initiation. And so you end up with this kind of standoff where neither team really wants to breach tier 3s, but at the same time, they're just sitting around farming.
Yeah, I don't know, both teams have great ways to defend their high ground with the Faceless Void jumping in the Chronosphere, but I don't know, it looks like they want to go with this Aegis. They only have about 20 seconds, so Legion needs to be playing very aggressively for at least that time, but I think it's going to time out in this next team fight. We have some Viper Strikes being thrown out. I think that was disjointed by the Yules, and indeed it was, getting it for Iceberg, so they're just going to have to back off. Exorcism popped. I don't think Duza can push.
No, I don't think they can. As we all see right now that they're just, backing off, and all the while we're just seeing split pushing coming out from this Nature's Prophet just being super annoying.
I don't know, Earthshaker being pinged out. They have another Time Walk coming out from cooldown from the Faceless Void, but he'll just back off. I don't think they're going to be able to go for that. And as you said, we're kind of just hitting the standoff position in this game. Another Mystic Staff picked up by the Skywrath Mage, presumably towards the Scythe device. Those Arcane Bolts are going to start hitting incredibly hard with 1.6 times his 170 intelligence, as well as the base damage added. BKB forced out in mid as Gyrocopter is slowed down by the Viper Strike. Will they get the Chronosphere? Cancels it. Not going to even go for it. As Earthshaker is looking for the wraparound, he has an Invis rune. This could be huge, but they're going to find him with the Sentry Ward on the ground. They find Unstable, and Unstable is going to be shackled in place, and it looks like he's just going to give up his life. So unfortunate for the Earthshaker that Sentry Ward was there.
Yeah, that is super unfortunate, as obviously it is a common Sentry Ward position, but at the same time, still pretty unlucky right there. It's only up for the next. In fact, he was only just placed down. Some next level map hacks coming out with the Sentry Wards.
I think they saw him come up with the Observer Ward, so they placed it down to catch out that Earthshaker, but I don't know, Legion, he wants to turn in here, but they have the Chronosphere, it's going to catch out only Legion, but Legion does not have the Aegis, and with the Demon Edge, he's going to have buyback still, but the Grave comes out. Will he be able to get his damage up before this fight is, and everybody's taking a decent amount, but still, they've lost the Earthshaker as well as the Gyrocopter, and now the Lich Chainfrost doing so much. He has the Aghanim Scepter, it will eventually dissipate. His Captain Love is going to be focused down as well as Limbo, and that's going to be 4 heroes down. Buyback forced out by the Gyrocopter as well as by the Dazzle, but Tier 3 Tower, attempted deny coming out from the Death Prophet, but it's not going to be too much avail, as I think they're going to be happy after forcing out so many buybacks. 3 all said and done.
Yeah, 3 buybacks coming out and getting the tier 3s on the middle. That's very nice coming out for your family. Your family, I think that's going to give them is actually going to give them a small gold lead, 2k. We're currently 40 minutes in and the gold lead is 2,000 gold. That just shows you how close this is right now. But I just feel that Duza and that team fight was just a little bit spread out, and Gyrocopter got caught out.
Yeah, for sure. He wasn't able to get his damage off reliably, even with the Dazzle coming out as well. Roshan, it's going to be a decently long one, about halfway through the shortest time as well as the longest time. A little bit more. 2 minutes additional, it's going to be a 10-minute respawn. So unfortunate for Duza, they won't be able to take that out now. And, well, I think we're just going to wait for the next Roshan before anything really happens.
Yeah, because I will say the Gyrocopter, he has picked up a Demon Edge. Now, is he going to be going for a Divine Rapier or more than like the MKB?
Probably MKB, but if they get the next Aegis and he decides to just YOLO it, I would not be opposed to that at all. I think, yeah, he needs to position himself a lot more better, or a lot, oh my goodness, English is dead, but a lot better if he does want to go for the Divine Rapier. But yeah, I don't know, we'll have to see what his choice is going to be. If they win the teamfight convincingly and get Roshan, he'll probably go for it, and if they lose the teamfight convincingly, he'll probably have to go for it anyway.
But this Roshan just taking it. Sweet time as we see the Viper is going to initiate there onto Iceberg, but Iceberg returns the favor.
Force staff away by... Yeah, Fendril was able to be there with the force staff. The Fissure is going to land on 2. Looking for the Chronosphere. They catch out 3, and now Legion's going to be focused down. The Lich Chain Frost bouncing through in the Chronosphere with unlimited bounces. This is probably going to be pretty huge as Iceberg is losing his life. The BKB as well as the Satanic comes out, and Gyrocopter's actually fighting pretty strong here, but Vlado, he's focusing him down. He's man-fighting up against all of them, and in the end, he's not going to be able to do so. 4 heroes down without buybacks. That might as well be game, honestly. I don't know, Iceberg's the only survivor, but that's 100 seconds without your Gyrocopter.
Yeah, they are going to be able to... Iceberg does get out of there, the one he was originally initiated on, but that Chronosphere was just so perfect. That is why the hero is just so powerful in the late game. One positioning mistake, and we see there's basically going to be 30 seconds of a free pushing coming out from a family, if not more.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more, honestly. They have 60 seconds on the Skywrath Mage and 74 with the Gyro, and without 70 seconds of your Exorcism, he's not going to really be able to do much in the way of counter push. In fact, he might just die here as he sprouted up Iceberg. He's pretty tanky with the Chivas as well as the Heart, but he's just going to be MKB down. He only gets off 1 Crypt Swarm before dying. He buys back pretty much the only one that they have available on the Dire, and that is going to be it. They glyph to delay things, but this lane is as good as dead, and this should be at least 2 in the favor of your family. And once you get a lane down with a Nature's Prophet on your team, the game just becomes so much harder. With the Gyrocopter, they could counter push against that for quite some time, but we'll see.
As we do see
Jump
the
in, Chronosphere catches out 2 onto Unstable as well as Iceberg, and Iceberg's focused down. Lich Chain Frost bounces to Creep, so it has unlimited bounces, so it doesn't really matter. Just going to farm that up as they clean up the Earthshaker as well, and now Dazzle looks like he's going to be the last one to die as Iceberg calls out the GG.
Yeah, that is going to be GG. Duza, they put up a good fight in the second game, but sadly that is going to be a 2-0 victory coming out from Family. Or, sadly, if you're a Duza fan or bet your ears on them, pretty happy if you bet on Family. And that is going to be 2-0, 36-32, a very awesome game number 2, though, coming out from both these 2 teams.
Yeah, I know, both of the games started out really close, and in the end, it was just whoever got the biggest team fight. Especially in this game, when it went so late, it kind of just boiled down to, if you lose a team fight that devastatingly, when there's only about a 2k gold advantage, and experience for either team, it just kind of ended up snowballing into the victory. So either way, that is going to be it for HeflaTV 2, I believe, for today. Not very many games going on, but a lot going on at the same time if you were able to catch glimpses and stashes of HeflaTV 1 as well as twitch.tv/HeflaMilk. Those are our English channels. If you want to go ahead and follow us there, you can also subscribe to HeflaTV and get our emotes throughout all Twitch channels, as well as a subscription on all of the HeflaTV channels that are inside the team. That said, your casters for today have been GrandisV. You can find me at twitch.tv/GrandisV as well as on Twitter at GrandisV. I should probably be updating that more, but that is where you can find me. And as for Vanchi, where can they find you?
Well, I can be found at Banshee at both Twitch TV and Twitter, as well as in all the other usual places. But either way, that was a pretty awesome series between 2 very evenly matched teams. I'll see you all later.
Yep, also for social media for HeflaTV, you can find those at Twitter and Facebook at HeflaTV, and the VODs will be uploaded if you want to watch these awesome games another time or want to share them with your friends. You can find those at youtube.com/HeflaMilk. So that said, I'm going to be GrandisV signing out, some music, some ads, and that'll round out the stream for today.